This is Seoul, the hyper-modern, hyper-connected, hyper-cool capital of South Korea, the city of K-pop, Samsung, and the Han River miracle, where neon lights meet ancient palaces and bullet trains glide past centuries of history. But beneath that shine, there is a secret, a silent crisis destroying the dreams of a generation. A crisis so tied to modern Korean life that it's shrinking the future not by war or disaster, but by making the most basic thing, a home, exceptionally difficult to reach. The hard truth is this: South Korea built a technological future, and many families now face a home price burden that is far beyond what wages can cover. In recent government surveys and reporting, the median home price in Seoul has been reported at roughly 13 times median household income, a ratio that makes ownership structurally out of reach for many young people and families. This figure varies by year and district, but it gives a sense of scale. This is not just a statistic. Housing in Korea shapes life choices: who can marry, who can have children, who can feel they belong. To understand why prices became this way, we need to look at one uniquely Korean institution: Jeonse. Jeonse is a rental system in which tenants pay a very large lump sum deposit, commonly around 50 to 80% of the property's market value, instead of monthly rent. At the end of the lease, the deposit is returned. That deposit is then used by the landlord as capital, effectively an interest-free loan to buy more property or make other investments. The economics are simple and deceptively powerful. For decades, Jeonse worked as a social workaround. Tenants lived without monthly rent, owners used deposits to finance growth. But over time, the system fed a feedback loop. As property values rose, Jeonse deposits rose. As deposits rose, owners had more capital to buy more property, which pushed prices higher still. In practice, Jeonse can amplify housing inflation, helping create bubbles and concentrating wealth among property owners. Academic and policy research has linked Jeonse dynamics to housing price volatility and risks for tenants and landlords alike. What does that mean for daily life? Home ownership in Korea is intimately tied to social milestones: marriage, parenthood, stability. When a generation faces deposits that are many times annual income, they make different choices. Many young people and couples report working long hours, delaying marriage, or postponing children because the cost of securing housing is so high. Housing costs are widely cited by experts as one major factor behind South Korea's record-low fertility in recent years, though of course fertility is multi-causal. Work culture, gender norms, education costs, childcare support, and housing all interact. The lived reality is stark. Millions are crowded into small, low-quality units, Goshiwon, officetels, or semi-basement banjiha rooms, places that many Koreans describe as cramped and isolating. The contrast is cruel. The country that built the fastest internet also shelters people in spaces many would call unfit by modern living standards. Wealthier owners, meanwhile, have used Jeonse and other mechanisms to accumulate capital, buying, renting, and reinvesting deposits. The result is a cycle that tends to lock in advantage for property owners and create barriers for those without access to large capital. That is less a market failure than a social contract failure. The rules of housing and finance reward ownership and make entry increasingly costly. So we come to the moral question. The Han River miracle promised that hard work would build a better life for the next generation. But if that future requires a near miraculous accumulation of capital just to secure a roof, have we traded dignity and possibility for speed and profit? I'm not saying housing is the sole cause of demographic decline. Rather, it is one of the powerful structural pressures shaping the choices young people make in Korea today. The story in Seoul is a warning. When housing becomes primarily a financial instrument, the social foundations of family and community fray. The miracle was built on shifting ground, and now the impossible dream of a home is the price an entire generation is paying. Behind the perfect choreography and neon, there are people living under pressure in rooms too small to dream. If you want to see more careful, sourced reporting on Korea's social reality, subscribe to Korean Couple Storytellers. And tell me, what is the impossible dream in your country? Share in the comments and we'll discuss the evidence together.